Hey Flosstube, welcome to Creative Whims Studio. Guess what, guys? It's time to show you all of my releases for September. Today is September 30th, so talk about getting them done in the nick of time. I had all my auto ship stores, their orders went out Friday. So today is the first day, it's Monday, and it's the first day of, filling the orders for the new patterns and charts. So your local needlework shop, your LNS, should have them sometime this week. However, I had a major issue, a terrifying issue. My large format printer that prints all the covers for my patterns took a crapper. It will not work. So if I didn't have enough in stock to fill all the orders I got, there will be back orders, and I have my new computer and my new printer ready to, it's hooked up, but it's not like I can just plug it in and print. There's profiles that you have to do in order to get the color correct, and so that is my project later this afternoon. And so hopefully by tomorrow I will be back into full production with my new equipment, and then I want to get my old printer serviced so I can still keep that one working as well. But that scared me to death. That happened Saturday. So Saturday, a couple days ago, I spent the entire day finishing, FFOing all of my new designs. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start with punch needle and show you the new designs. The first one is PN212 Mr. Greenjeans. Mr. Greenjeans measures approximately 4 3/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches. He is done with mostly Weeks Dye Works, but there's 4 DMC colors as well. And for the finishing, this is a galvanized metal sign that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. I think I just ordered it online. I don't think I was, yeah, I ordered that online. It was only $2.99. And I just put a wire hanger on the top. They had, what do you call it? Jute rope, but I changed it to a black wire, and I put a little black bow on it. And then this little, I painted it, well, it was galvanized metal, so I painted it black with just like acrylic paint. I would recommend painting it with spray paint because this paint is chipping off easily on the galvanized metal. So you're gonna want to either put a sealant on it after you put your acrylic paint on, or you'd be better off, and it'd be quicker to just use black spray paint. So I must say, I need to go back into my punch needle tutorial, because when I talk about my finishing, I talk about using fabric glue. Well, thanks to Priscilla and her finishing, she reintroduced to me the hot glue gun. I have a hot glue gun. I just, for whatever reason, when I was finishing, I just didn't think of using it. But after watching Priscilla and Chelsea, it's so much quicker than using fabric glue. So I fold my edges over and used the hot glue gun to make the fabric stay. And then I use a black Sharpie and I color the weaver's cloth so it doesn't show on the edge. And you can also see my wound from the hot glue gun because, it happens. So anyway, that's the first one, Mr. Greenjeans. Then we have PN213 Fox and Friend. I think out of all the punch needle, I think this is my favorite one. I love this one. Maybe if I get out of the way, it will show better. You know what? I should have a white piece of paper or something. Makes it easier to see. So originally I was going to put something else on this one. Oh yeah, Farmhouse Star was going to go on this wooden plaque, but I decided that I think the leaves on this, I cannot keep this straight for some reason. The leaves on the wood piece just worked for this one. So Fox and Friend measures 7 1/4 by 6 1/2. I used Weeks Dye Works and 1 DMC floss, so it's mostly Weeks. And this was just a plain wood color, this plaque, and I painted it burnt sienna, and then I sanded the edges, and then that was pretty much it, and then just used hot glue to adhere my punch needle to it. And next we have Whimsy Goals. Okay, Whimsy Goals was in Punch Needle Primitive Stitchers magazine, the fall issue, I think last year. 2018, I believe. I love it. I cannot believe I actually had a book, the perfect color to go with this. That book color is awesome, and it matches their little faces so perfectly. And I used Lady Dot Creates Jack Chenille around the piece. Just adds a nice touch. Super fun. And last but not least, Farmhouse Star. I absolutely love this. You might remember this frame that I purchased at Hobby Lobby a few weeks ago when I took Ellery on a little field trip. Isn't that cool? So this is just like a galvanized metal, and all I did was adhere it. Actually, what I did is I kept the glass in the frame. And then I put a piece of cardboard, or actually it was a foam core, over the glass so that this didn't like sink in, you know what I'm saying? So that this is flush. So there you go. That's Farmhouse Star. And oh, I didn't say the measurements. That one measures 6 1/4 by 5 inches. I used Weeks Dye Works and 1 DMC. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors on that one. So that's it for punch needle. Moving on to cross stitch. The cross stitch are larger, so that piece of canvas, that's not going to work for some of them. Okay, we're going to start out with our teenies. The first teeny is cross stitch 210, and it's got a T for teeny, so it's XS210T Rooster Cottage. This is also a frame I bought at Hobby Lobby the same time I bought that one I just showed. It's stitch 2 over 2 on 35 count linen. The stitch count is 52 by 74. This finished size here is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and it was stitched by the lovely Sheila Castle. Isn't it cool in that frame? It's perfect. And I don't have the glass in the frame, of course. I don't like all that glare. Oh, there's a little... Yeah, so anyway, isn't that super cute? And so that was 35 count linen. I mean, you could do that on a 32 or, you know, 30 or 28 count and it would be larger. But I think it's super cute. Next teeny is Black and Jack. Where are you? Oh, this one's fun. Look how cute. So this is XS209T, black and jack. Stitch 2/2 on 32 count linen. The stitch count is 35 by 60. Finish size 2 by 3 3/4 inches. And that one was finished using Dames of the Needle. Oh, I covered up. I'll have to open that up. I don't know if that's even focusing because it wants to focus on my face instead. There we go. And if you don't like that variegated this is charcoal, Weeks Dye Works charcoal. If you don't like that variegation, you could just use a solid black DMC, or just, you know, you can make it gray, you can make it, you know, look like your cat. But anyway, that's charcoal. Oh, this is Jumping Jack. It's called, it's Rick Rack, but the color is Jumping Jack by Dames of the Needle. And I already read, oh yeah, I gotta tell you who stitched this cutie pie. It was stitched by Angela Balbeck. She lives in Canada. So look how cute. It's focusing on that angel face. Good golly. So my camera focuses on faces, so that's why all of my punch needle was blurry. But I'm not redoing this video. It's just not gonna happen. Oh, and yeah, so I just hot glued. I used sticky board for, oh yeah, I should say what linen that was. That is Picture This Plus Cyprium. I love that linen. So I used sticky board, and then I just used hot glue to put the Rick Rack on, and then hot glued it to this little carved, it's called, I have right on the back it says carved peel. So it's just an antique piece. Next we have Cross Stitch 024. I love this one. Star Quilt. This is framed in a frame that we had from Primitive Folk. We're talking, you know, 20 years ago. And it was like a pumpkin color. So I painted black over it and then just sanded it and stained it. This is Cross Stitch 024 Star Quilt. Stitch 2/2 on 35 count linen. Finished size 7.5 by 7.5. Stitch count 138 by 139. Using Weeks Dye Works and a couple of DMC. It was stitched on Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works, and Matthew Penton of Ohio stitched that. He's the first man to stitch for me. His mother also did one for me. So that's that. Next we have Prim Hen in a Basket. Cross Stitch 200 Prim Hen in Basket. Stitch 2/2 on 35 count linen. Stitch count 140 by 119. Finish size 8 inches by 7 inches. Using mostly Weeks Dye Works and 1 DMC. This was stitched on 35 count Weeks Dye Works Onyx and stitched by my Michigan girl, Jessica Smith. So this was attached to sticky board. So all the black you see here is the linen. And then I used Rick Rack, I believe, let me look. Oh, I don't think I have that one out. Shoot. I believe that is, I'm not sure. It's either Dames of the Needle or Lady Dot Creates. Rick Rack Vintage, I think is the color. And then I had, so this is just an antique paddle board, breadboard, whatever you want to call it. And I bought this homespun fabric. It was Walmart.com, but I think Walmart's trying to be like Amazon where they have different sellers. So I can't remember the name of the seller, but if you just go to Walmart.com and put in homespun fabric, I Googled homespun fabric, and I know Dunwoven is a good name, good brand name, so I purchased a bunch of fat quarters of homespun, and then I just tear it to make it fuzzy on the edge and just a little bit more primitive, and then I just hot glued a little tin star. And then I hot glued the ribbon to the back of my punch needle or my cross stitch so that I can take this off and switch it out if I want. So there you go. I love the look of that one. And again, I know I've said this before, I think when I showed it, when I first got it back from Jessica, but you know, if you don't want to stitch all this border, this is a lot of stitching and it's meant to look like chicken wire, but you could just do the chicken in this part in the inside, or you can just do the basket with the chicken and the star over it. I mean, you don't have to do the entire piece. It's just so you know. I mean, I'm sure you can figure that out yourself, but I want to encourage people to not, you know, freak out over how much stitching I have on some of my patterns. Okay, so my last release, the most popular one, this was back in July, was Cross Stitch 207, and it was Peaceful Snow, okay? Is a snowman. Well, I told you I had a coordinating piece to go with it that has a Santa on it. So that has been released. Where is the finished piece? Right here. So I adhered it to a book, and I wanted to do a book, a green book, because the coordinating piece, why can't I get that straight? Oh God, it's like backwards to what your mind wants to do. Jeez. Anywho, the snowman piece is on a red book. So I wanted him on a green book, and thank God I had one that fit. Because I had different plans for him, and it was not working out, and then I remembered I need to put it on a book. So this is Cross Stitch 208. Joyful Scene, stitch 2/2 on 35 count linen, Weeks Dye Works tin roof, finish size 6 1/4 by 5 inches, stitch count 110 by 86, using Weeks Dye Works and DMC, and stitched by Carol Krasiak. Carol told me how to say her last name. Carol Karasia? Karasia. I'm so sorry. Of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Another Michigan girl. So that one I used, again, just sticky board. And then I hot glued Lady Dots Creates Bird Nest rickrack around it. That one had a little fuzzy on it too. And now we have Farm Girl. Let me fix the bow. I'm not good at making bows, and I'm not good at attaching bows, evidently. So here is Farm Girl. This piece, oh shoot, I am so sorry. Oh, good Lord. This piece, this wood piece I got at Joann, I believe. Let me see on the back if it says. Yep, got this at Joann, and it had hangers on it. Like it had a hanger coming off here, and then it had 2 sawtooth hangers. Well, I took that off, and then I stapled the jute on there to hang it instead, because I wanted to hang it sideways, obviously, to fit my piece. So I just took the Farm Girl piece and used sticky board. Jeez, there's stuff on every one of my pieces. And then hot glued it to this board. I painted it black and sanded and stained it. And then I stained these stars and hot glued those on. And then used some of that homespun and just tied a bow up here in the corner. So this is Cross Stitch 211 Farm Girl. Stitch 2/2 on 35 count linen. Stitch count 199 by 117. Finish size 11 inches by 6.5 inches. Was on Havana, Weeks Dye Works Havana linen, Weeks Dye Works cotton floss, and the black is DMC 310. And this was stitched by Susan Silva of Lodi, California. Thank you, Susan, for doing such a beautiful job. I love how this turned out. Is that all of them? One more. I can't believe it. All right, the last one. Oh gosh, this one was so hard to finish. I did not have a frame that would work with it. Why I wait until it's time for me to release patterns to do my fully finishing, I don't know. Because then the pressure's on to find something that it will fit on. I didn't have a frame that really would work, so I was going to use like a super big frame and then put some of that homespun fabric on a piece of foam core and then adhere the finish cross stitch to the center of it. And that would have looked okay, but I don't know. I wanted to do something really different, so I did. So here we go. Look how cool this is. So this piece, I bought this at a craft show about a year ago. And I intended to paint like vertical shaped angels and then put them on these pieces. I have this one and I have a red one. But this, I don't know, it just worked. So I took this tin piece from, at Hobby Lobby they have these angel wings. It's a heart and then it has a cross hanging in the center of the heart and it's got angel wings on each side. I've showed them on my Flosstube before. But I didn't like the red. I thought it pulled away from took away from the angel. So I painted it white and kind of antiqued it. And then this is a vintage Christmas bulb. And I just liked that it was kind of clear, gives it a little bit of glitz. And that bulb has stars on it, so I think that's super cool. Okay, it's swinging way too much. Isn't that fun? Okay, so you can see the piece better now. And again, used sticky board and then I adhered it with hot glue to the sides of the frame, and then I've got this super cool looking cross at the bottom. So this is one of my Work of Heart series, and the Work of Heart series are like usually full coverage. There's confetti stitching. They're kind of, you know, intense to stitch, but they're beautiful. They turn out so beautiful. So this one is cross stitch 3165 outstretched arms, stitch 2 over 2 on 32 count linen. The stitch count is 170 by 169. The finished size is 11 by 11 and a half. And it was stitched on corn silk, but it doesn't really matter what color the fabric is, the linen is, because it's full coverage. However, again, if you don't want to do full coverage, you could get a really cool navy or black and then stitch. As I was saying before my camera quit recording, you could get navy blue or a black linen and then just stitch the star with the angel. So that would be cool too. So this was all DMC, no, 1 week's dye works, but all DMC, quite a few different colors. And it was stitched by Tina Penton of Vermilion, Ohio. And so Tina, her son did the star quilt one for me, and they were stitching at the same time, which is super cool. And they're both amazing stitchers. They're all, okay, not just them, everyone I have showed you today. All of my model stitchers are absolutely incredibly talented, and I'm so happy to have them, because without model stitchers, I would not be able to do cross stitch patterns because I don't cross stitch. I have yet to learn because I'm so busy doing the punch needle. I don't think I have time to cross stitch, but I am going to learn. That is my goal for 2020. All right, I think I read everything to you. All right, that's it. That's it. If you saw, I hope you saw something you liked. So give your LNS a call. I will have these on my Etsy shop I usually give my shops 2 to 3 weeks head start selling the patterns before I list them myself, because we have to support our LNSs. If you don't have one, then I get it. You order online, which is fine. And there's a lot of shops that sell online that have a brick and mortar, and then they sell online also. But then there's some shops that only sell online, and then then sometimes you can buy right from the designer. So, but if you have a brick and mortar shop that carries cross stitch and punch needle and the supplies you need, please support them, because if we don't, they're gonna go away. And what a world it would be if everything was ordered online. Like everything is just warehouses and it just ships to you. Yeah, that's convenient and easy, but there's nothing like going there and seeing something in person, seeing the color in person, especially when it comes to ordering your linen and your floss. You need to see it in person. And I've heard floss tubers say over and over again, you know, I wasn't real crazy about this design, but then I was at my LNS and I saw the model done and I had to buy it because it's beautiful. So, you know, there would be a big void without, you know, shops, needlework shops. So please support them. And thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I'm super excited. I love this business. I love creating punch needle and cross stitch. And you know, for me, since I don't do the cross stitch, when it comes in, I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I open it like it's Christmas morning, and it's so fun. So thank you everyone for your love and support. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.